Oh, hey, it's good to see you again. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of See It Again Cinema. You know, with 2022 in the rearview mirror and the Oscars coming up, I thought it'd be fun to make a special episode where I focused on the films that I saw in the theater last year that I would most want to see again. By and large, I liked and loved most of what I saw, and I thought this might just be because I'm more selective in what I go to see, but also I just thought it was a good year for movies and that a lot of directors were really firing on all cylinders. So, without further ado, these are the top 7 films of 2022, the ones I most want to see again. Number 7, The Fable Men by Steven Spielberg. So I've seen almost every film that Spielberg has made, and when I heard that he was making a film that was going to be more personal about kind of his childhood and directly addressing what happened with his family and how that led to him becoming a filmmaker, I was all for that. I can see why he waited until this time period in his life to make it. It was a lot of fun, a great film about the ingenuity and the hard work and drive that it takes to kind of turn what a lot of people might think or call a hobby into art and a profession and great success. I really just thought that it was amazing how he was able to show the more scientific father and the more artistic mother, and how those two forces in his life blended together to create his particular cinematic vision. You can't really think about Spielberg's career without seeing the technical innovations, but he's also so much about feeling, and some of the best film scores of all time are to his films. So it was a really great film that could only be done by someone who had thought a lot about their legacy and their life and waited until the time was right to do it. Number 6, Top Gun Maverick, directed by Joseph Kosinski. This film was so much fun to see in the theater. I kind of want to see if it's as fun to see at home. I know that Tom Cruise took a long time to get this made, and with the tragic death of Tony Scott, I wasn't quite sure that it actually ever should be made. And this is a perfect example of a blockbuster sequel that was completely unnecessary, yet somehow, now that it is out there, it's kind of remarkable how there were 1,000 ways that this film could have messed things up or not gotten it right, but they did, and it was some of the most fun I've had in a theater in a long time. Number 5, Everything Everywhere All at Once, directed by Daniels. So this was the first film that I've seen by this director duo, and, director duos are pretty rare. Beyond the Coen brothers, I really can't think of very many. I most want to see this film, not because I wasn't able to follow the plot. I totally was, and I feel like I got the themes. Mostly I want to see it because the theater experience I had was less than optimal. Several rows in front of me, there was a family that had children that were far too young to see that film, and the children were bored because they couldn't actually follow the story, and they were confused. And also, I don't know if they had ever been to a theater since, we're talking young kids, like 6 years old. It was kind of distracting and made me question, last spring, just what are the benefits of the theatrical experience when weighed on balance with the negative? However, the film was a lot of fun. It was impressive from, for me, a technical level, just to think about who the continuity editors were on the film to keep track of all the costumes and the makeup and how they spliced the film together, but also created where they would need to use special effects or more practical effects, like having a character walk, from off screen onto the film. I know that a lot of people, this is the one that they're hoping takes the big prize at the Oscars. And if it does, it's telling a story that really only cinema could really tell a story the way they did. So, although I also kind of feel that way about all the films on this list. So, Everything Everywhere All at Once, or Everything Everywhere All at Twice. Number 4, Tar, directed by Todd Field. Oh, wow. So this was the only film that I missed seeing in the theaters because it did not come to the city where I live, but it did get to DVD really quickly. And for the most part, I avoided spoilers, but I couldn't help but see headlines and news stories and features and interviews that seemed to allude to the main character played by Cate Blanchett as being one of the most horrible, despicable, evil characters to grace the silver screen in a long time. And when I was watching the film, I kept expecting the film to take a turn where we would see the absolute worst vile behavior, yet the film shows remarkable restraint, and I found Lydia Tarr to be a fascinating character with true psychological depth. And Cate Blanchett is just phenomenal in the role. I think the film is about so many current events and issues and controversies and changes that our culture is going through that it's just fascinating. And I can't wait to watch the film again, knowing, where it goes the first time. Number 3, Avatar, The Way of Water. You know what? I will never, ever bet against James Cameron. He's got so many haters, but the guy knows how to make a successful Hollywood blockbuster. This is actually the only film on the list I've actually seen twice in the theaters, and I'm planning to go a third time, so that's why it's ranked number 3, because I'm planning to see it 3 times in the theater in 3D. This film just was quite beautiful, and the technological achievements he's created in basically closing the uncanny valley, the motion capture of the Na'vi is quite brilliant, and I like some of the surprising complications about, basically just what they did with the story. And I'm really excited to see the next installment. With everything going on in the world, it was kind of nice to just be able to return to Pandora and see what has happened. It's especially interesting to me that the amount of time that has elapsed since we last saw an Avatar movie in the theaters is about the same amount of time as the story has progressed. So, James Cameron, you've done it again. So let's see if you can do it 3 more times. So, I see you. I see you again. Number 2, Babylon by Damien Chazelle. Oh, wow. This film was wild, and I have to say I wish they had not released it on Christmas Day, especially since they didn't know that there would be all those blizzards across America that also hurt its box office. I don't know why so many critics trashed on it and said it was unfocused. I thought the story was remarkably focused, and the editing was top notch. It has the best original musical score of any film I've seen this year. Justin Hurwitz just outdid himself at creating a jazz score that sounds like it could be from the time period, but has the energy of just what made jazz music so transformative in that time period. There are some people I would not watch this movie with. Mom, I'm probably not going to watch it because I don't know if you get past the first scene with the elephant. Even if it had been a box office hit, I have this feeling that it wouldn't get that many nominations, much like Jordan Peele's Nope, didn't get any recognition. I think that there's something about when you bite the hand that feeds. And I think this film, Babylon, is painting Hollywood in a less than glamorous light. And I can't help but think that the Academy might not like that. But it's super impressive. I mean, I'll watch anything Damien Chazelle does, because from Whiplash to La La Land to First Man, the guy knows how to tell a story with musical passion and precision. And yeah, it's just memorable. I was tapping my toe throughout half the movie just because that's how good the score was. And number 1, The Banshees of Inisherin, directed by Martin McDonagh. I've seen every Martin McDonagh film in the theater, starting with In Bruges, and wow, to get to see Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell reunited, I didn't know anything about what this film was about. I didn't even know when it was set. I just knew that director, writer, and those two leads, it was going to be something special. And it totally was. Watching it, there were so many aspects of it that stuck with me. Even though it's set 100 years in the past, so many of the issues seem to be about things that are going on today. I don't know a whole lot about the Irish Civil War, but when I watched the film, on the surface, a simple story that was unpredictable. It was well acted, well crafted, and the more I think about it and the more questions I ask about it, the more I realize this is a brilliant film that I just can't think of any flaw. It basically seems like a perfect film, and I can't wait to see it again. Well, all right. That'll do it for this special episode. What'd you think of these 7 films? Is there something else from last year that you'd like to see again? Let us know in the comments below. And I'd like to thank you for watching this episode of See It Again Cinema, where old and recent movies make magical new memories. We'll see you next time. See it again, see it again. Cinema, see it again, see it again. Cinema, see it again, see it again.